Let me just quickly make an announcement on Discord. Stream notifications. Let me make an announcement and then I will start. Okay. Let me start then. So for today's part 3, hello Broggle. For today's part 3 I will be doing some web reversing. So in the last 2 parts I made a TMDB, a simple TMDB scraper, and we can basically have the user query a movie and that they can look up on TMDB, then they choose from the list, and then they can have a hello mirror to Jinsei, and then they can have a TMDB ID. Yes, yeah, well, see, I'm really good at usernames, I guess. I mean, it's pretty simple, I don't know how people mess it up, to be honest, but... So, today I will be scraping the source, which... oh, it's Florida, hi, from Consummate, yeah. So, I got a source recommended, which is src... vidsrc.me.ru, and basically it's just an embed, and yeah, you can pass a TMDB ID into it. It's probably explained here, yeah, like this, as an example. This is an IMDb ID, but I know that, for example, Fight Club is 550 on TMDB, so I can also use a TMDB ID. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape this, so I'm gonna get the video link. Yes, I will show how to work around that, because Kieran was so kind as to show me how he does it. There's several ways. Of course, you can use HTTP Toolkit or Man in the Middle, which I used to do, or you can use a patched Liberwall for many different ways, but I'll show you in just the Brave browser, like any browser. It's actually pretty simple. So first, there's also one thing that I forgot to do last time, which was for the TMDB query. If you remember, when I query something, for example a silent voice, it was in German because my locale, like I'm in Germany, so my locale is in Germany. Whoops. quickly. Let me just arrange something really quick. Okay, like this. So, shit, I accidentally reloaded the chat. That's okay. Okay. So here we have the video. It's playing. It's working. And now usually, hello Mads. Oh, nice. Haven't seen you in a while. So if we open the DevTools, holy shit, there's so many people. Let's hope I don't choke. There's a little bit of pressure. So if I open DevTools, which is what you usually do, I'm just immediately kicked out, as you can see. Which is not very convenient for using DevTools because you'd rather have them open. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open them first. I'm gonna try again, and then it's gonna kick me again. Hi from Kieran. Yes, hi from Kieran, exactly. So it's not working. So what I can do to work around this problem is you can go to sources. I'm drinking some tea, if you're wondering, and you can go to event listener breakpoints, and here you just check script, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the website again, and then we use this play button for the debugger to go through the steps. And then here you have to look for something that disables the DevTools. Now, I'm not from the UK, I'm from Russia. Like, I'm Russian ethnically, but I also have the French citizenship. I went to Milan High School in France, so I'm also fluent in French. So if you're wondering why I have a little bit of a weird accent, it's because I have two mother tongues. And so we just click through stuff with the play button until we see something that, VMMC is just an extension I have. I mean, you might have less stuff than this. I have all this because I have some extensions that load. And then you need to look for something that disables the DevTools, and then you need to find a workaround to not trigger it. Usually it's not too complicated. And this example, it's very simple. If I manage to find it. Oh, disable DevTool min.js. And so as soon as you find this, so in this case it's just a single script, and all it does is just disable DevTools. So you could edit this JavaScript, but you can also just completely delete it. In this case we can completely delete it because we don't want this to be called, because we don't care about everything that's in here. So what you do is you go to override content, you click override, then it's going to enable local overrides, and then you do open containing folder, and right now it popped on my second monitor. I'm drag it over here so you can see. So now there's a path to this file, and I can open this file if I click on properties. Yeah, it's again opening on my second monitor, which maybe I need to fix, but whatever. So this is the location. I'm just gonna copy it because I will open it in Emacs instead of something else. So I can just do this and then slash, and here I have this file, disable DevTool min.js. This is just my local copy of this. And so now I can just take and delete everything that's in here. And now if I reload the page, if I disable script, it should just work as usual. I can close all these files because I don't really care about them at the moment. So now if I try to play the video, it plays, and if I go to network, I have all the normal developer tool stuff that is useful for me. And this is a little bit more useful than just using like HTTP toolkit or whatever, because you can actually work with DevTools. So now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look for the video link, and this is just something common that you just have to know with experience. I mean, people usually know that there's different file formats, and for example for video a common one is MP4, but most of the time these streaming platforms, they use a format called M3U8, which is just an M3U playlist. Yeah, M3U. Oh yeah, I think Wikimand is blocked with the VPN. Oh, never mind, it works. So yeah, it's just an M3U8, and then, so yeah, that's I'm just gonna look for something that's M3U8, and if I just filter by it, I can see there's a file that was requested, type XHR, and it's an M3U8 file. And this is what it looks like, by the way, an M3U8 playlist. And so now if I just copy URL, the first thing I always do is I check if the file is playable, the video file. So I just run it like this with MPV, directly MPV supports it. It seems to play. If I go to my... It plays, it's Fight Club, it's what I want. Cool. This I can probably ignore for now. If the video doesn't play, which sometimes happens, the first couple things you should try, the first thing you should try is you should try adding the referrer that is here. Just copy it and you pass to MPV, refer equals, and then in quotation marks this is grok for coding. Yes, very good. Add this in an empty buffer just to remember it, and this looks like the M38 we want to get, so it's just in this plain file. And this file now I'm gonna open in the network panel, and I accidentally want to filter by time. I want to filter by, oh fuck. Okay, let me just rerun it again because I fucked up. Something because I want to have it in chronological order. Okay, let me just reopen it. Because otherwise some of the people watching might get confused. Okay, there we go. Network, M3U8. Then I go here. Okay, in this file, I'm gonna open a network. Okay, and we see that it's this file. And the next thing that we do, and this contains the actual M3U8 in here, yeah. And so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna work kind of backwards. And I see this long string and I would like to figure out how it's generated. So I'm just gonna copy it to my clipboard. And I'm gonna look it up here. This searches through like all the requests basically. And then I see that it appears here and here. But this we don't care because this is the actual request itself. And it contains the string itself, so we don't care. We care about this file, if that makes sense. So you see how I looked up this, and we find the string in the file that has the same name, so we ignore this, because that's where we came from. It's here. So I'm gonna navigate to this file, and then here again it's a very long file, and if I control F for the same thing again, I see that I find it here, and it's in the format of src pro-rcp, which is the same thing as we saw before. It's this request c/pro-rcp and then long string. So we can get from here to there, but now I need to figure out how this string gets generated for the /rcp request. So I'm gonna look it up again here, and I look through the different requests, and I'm gonna note down some stuff that might be relevant. let's see, where did I check? Oh yeah, because I checked here. Okay, there we go. So we can get this RCP. So I'm just gonna call it RCP URL. And I'm just gonna create a new variable for it. Whoops, if I can manage. Feel free to ask questions, by the way, if you guys don't understand something. I will gladly answer it at any time, even if it's unrelated to what I'm doing right now, but for shell or scraping. So now we have this, actually maybe, yeah, let me do RCP full URL now, which is gonna be the same thing but with HTTPS, at the front. I don't remember what this returns. Echo RCP URL. Is it always this easy? Nah, it depends. But also, I mean, it also changes with experience, and it also changes if you have some ideas about the site. Because, like, I've scraped this beforehand, so there's some stuff that I'm skipping. Like, I'm not doing the trial and error part for everything. I'm still doing it, like, myself, not following some guide, but yeah. It can depend. Sometimes it's a lot more annoying, but not necessarily. Depends on the source. Like this, and then I just print here RCP URL, and then here I think if I echo this, yeah, this is the URL that I want. And now, so we're here basically. We're basically here, and I'm gonna make this request, and I wanna get pro RCP. And so let me just curl this. And then if you look here, there should be pro RCP right there. Works locally but not on version. Okay, so now I just need to write a regex to match this, which should be also pretty easy. And also don't get discouraged if I write the set fast. It's very simple if you do it many times. You just need a little bit of practice. So I need to match. I just forgot to match. Oh shit. Is this for lobster itself? Yes, it's for lobster SH itself. So first I always just reverse the website and then I just port it to shell. But yeah, first I have to reverse it, and there might be, depending on how much JavaScript there is, I might need to write some JavaScript as well for the reversing. So here I'm just gonna match everything that is not a single quote, like this, then single quote, and then I can just match everything that's left. I print the first capture group, and then I rerun it, and I get the pro RCP link. That is awesome. That is what I want. You should try him, not know. You mean the Cloudflare workers? Anyways, here we can go here, and this is where we have the M3U8, I think. So I'm gonna do pro RCP URL. Maybe my variable names are not the best, but I can always change them later. And I'm just gonna copy this. pro RCP full URL. Oh fuck, I already forgot what it was. My short-term memory is clearly not very good. Okay, so it's pro RCP, but before it, yeah, we just have this. Right, yes. Okay, now if I echo for CP full. Okay, this is what I want, and now I can probably curl it. And also grep for M308. And I think this should already work? Question mark? No. Okay, let's see what's happening. Aha! 404 not found. 404 not found. 404 not found. That is okay. Let's just see what command we're saving. We're sending. Yeah, that looks somewhat fine to me. Let me just check here. If I just copy the URL and I curl it. Okay, 404 not found, so I probably just need some header. Which is completely normal. Yeah, I mean, you know, the people who develop these websites are not always the most experienced. Oh, this referrer looks interesting. So I'm gonna assume that this is probably all it needs. Maybe a user agent, but I'm not even sure it needs a user agent. Yeah, I think it doesn't even need the user agent probably, right? Yeah. So I just need to pass this referrer. And this referrer, if you check, is the RCP URL we had from before. So I can just, I'm gonna use double quotes, and the reason I'm using double quotes and not single quotes is because in shell, when you're doing something inside of single quotes, if you do $ and then var for variable, it's not gonna use the actual variable, it's gonna use literally the $sign in the variable, and if you do it like this, it's gonna use the actual variable. Yeah, I mean the syntax highlighting doesn't change, but that's the difference. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna use is it the full one that I need? Yeah, it's the full one. So full RCP full URL. And now if I run it again, maybe without the -x. Yeah, now I get it. Now I get it, and if I look up M3U8, it's right there. It is right there. So I can match this probably quite easily. With another set command, just like this. I match everything, then file, then I don't forget to escape the quotation marks, and then I do everything that is not a quotation mark, and then I just print the first capture group. These are pretty easy and repetitive said. Yeah, there we go. And so now I'm getting all the URLs. So maybe let's try it for a different movie. Maybe let's try it for a silent voice. So what I'm gonna do is, right now I'm just hard coding this ID. And I think did not copy it. Oh, there we go. So let's just run it again. And I'm getting the list again of the URLs. And let me just get the first one. And here I'm just gonna replace the v1 with this thing. So Neon Horizon Workshops. Whoops. Yeah, I don't know that. I always mess up terminal copy. Okay, like this. Yes, I have a Glove 80 ergonomic keyboard. And it's very good. I really like it. But since I switched to an ergonomic keyboard and also I changed my layout to Dvorak because I had wrist pain issues because I got a rugby injury to my wrist. I'm very slow at typing now. Like I used to be at 110 words per minute and now I'm around 60. And it's been like 4 or 5 months since I've used this keyboard. But I think it's worth it in the long run. Like it's a lot more comfortable and it's also, I'm gonna be more efficient. So now let's play this. Hopefully it's a silent voice and it works. So I don't look like a clown. And this is in fact a silent voice, which I can recognize from that frame. So now we get the URL. I'm just gonna call this video links. But the thing is, with keyboard layout, yeah, Dvorak. Dvorak. Layout. Like this. Yeah. But it's split, so it's a bit, yeah. But yes, and I use the normal one, not the... There's a programmer Dvorak or whatever, I just use the regular one. No, I didn't pass an AnyList ID, I passed the TeamDB ID because I wrote the TeamDB scraper in the previous part because I'm kind of doing a multi-part series. So now I need to figure out this V1 thing. And let me just go back to the M3U8. Use Dvorak as well. Have you been using it for a long time? Like, are you comfortable with it? It's actually TeamDB, but it supports both IMDb and TeamDB, but yeah, this is TeamDB. Let me go to the stack trace. And let me figure out, so first it uses player.js. Then there's some visible check. I'm just adding a breakpoint here, and here I'm gonna use the debugger, and I'm gonna show you why it's useful to have DevTools and not use HTTP toolkit. And then I just look through the calls and I look at what looks interesting. So to me, it looks like init might be interesting actually. Maybe not visible check, but init looks interesting. And then maybe also ready looks interesting. And then also probably media. Media also looks interesting. And you have to click on the, like if you want to get the call to media, you have to click on the thing before media. And then maybe also file, but I'm not sure. I'll add the breakpoint anyways. And I'm gonna reload the page again. And now you have to kinda, so I don't know why this got added. Now you just have to kind of pay attention to things. And yeah, here the more experience you get, the more easily you can see patterns. Which is maybe not necessarily my case. I don't think I'm super experienced and also haven't done this in a while, but in theory, if you do this a lot, you will spot stuff faster. So we have this, and I'm using the play, the resume script execution, which just basically executes the whatever code it's executing, the JavaScript code, until the next breakpoint that I set. And then I can just inspect some stuff, which might look interesting. So yeah, I mean, here we have a lot of V stuff, O stuff. We have AutoNext, playlist, seek to start, e.playlist. So already I'd say this O object looks kind of interesting, and I can see that it has some files, audio tracks, href. The V file also looks interesting. It has some file, which is the same file as we had before. Some separators. It also has the FPVs actually. the FPVs, it has the domain that I was looking for from before, if you remember. That is the domain that I had in my MPV command, right? It's the one I replaced. So this looks very interesting. I can go here, you can see immediate, send immediate to v.file, and this is the file that we pass. And again, it's this v value. And you can also press escape. If you press escape, it just pops a terminal, or you use show console drawer. And this console is going to be within the scope of the current execution. So if you're until here, then like the functions and the variables that are here are available. I can just a v, and I can also inspect it here. And I can do, for example, v.fpv1, I think it was, yes. And here you see it's that URL. So this is kind of where it's coming from. Then again, there's a file URL. The URL is the same thing, but replaced. So it replaced it between the previous breakpoint and this breakpoint. It replaced the v1 with the value. Yeah, and then it just plays it, so we don't care. So what I'm gonna do is ignore. I just deleted it because I had it from before. But I can go to watch. I can press the plus button. And I can add the value that I'm gonna watch. What I'm gonna watch is v, and it's out of scope already, so I had to do it a bit earlier. But basically, let me go back to where v is available here. So here, if I do v.fpv1, yeah, it's available. So here I'm gonna add a watch, and I'm gonna do v.fpv1. And what this does is it's gonna watch this value as it changes, right? And right now it's what I wanted, but it wasn't this initially. I'm gonna assume like it got populated at some point. So if I reload the page and I go through execution again, this is where it's used to have its burger. You see it's undefined. Then I press play. So undefined, there nothing happens. So I'm gonna remove this breakpoint. It's not useful to me now. And then when I went from the previous breakpoint to this one to ready, it appeared here, like it changed to the value that I'm looking for. So that means that something in the code happened. I don't want this T to be too cold. Something in the code happened that generated this value. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use the debugger to go step by step through this and understand where and how it gets created. So yeah, and this is a bit of a meticulous drinking tea, yes. A bit of a meticulous process. So I'm gonna remove this breakpoint probably because I don't really care about it. And here you can also just statically analyze stuff. And yeah, also this is probably the part where most where your experience plays the biggest part. So I can hover here over V, can look at its values. I don't see any FPV1s, so probably until here there's nothing that happens to it. And then I see that there's a V gets assigned update object, and there's some JSON parse stuff. So this looks interesting to me. I'm gonna add a breakpoint. I'm gonna add a breakpoint here also because it's updating object. What else? Also here it's updating. And then I don't really see much other interesting stuff in this function. So I'm just gonna reload and I'm gonna check what's happening. So make sure to look at here when it changes, and I'm just gonna use resume. So nothing happens in here, and it also gets skipped actually because we didn't hit those breakpoints, we just went through it. So the control flow doesn't pass through this if statement. So then there's this function, then I press play, and then it appeared. So that means that this call created this, or did something that made this happen. So now we have to understand what's happening here, this line. So if I take a look, I see V, update object V, and we have the initial V that has, or not, but not the initial, because this, we stopped execution after this happened, so now it has FPV1. But it probably has the original FPV, and then it does this stuff to it. So this is a ternary operator. if you don't know how it works, I mean, it's pretty simple. If this condition is true, then this happens. Otherwise, this happens. If you don't know, I mean, it's just a basic programming concept. You can just look it up. Ternary condition operator. Yeah, it's very simple. It's just like an if statement, but a fancy way. So what I can do here is I'm gonna open the console, and remember the console right now is in scope of what's happening. So I can just paste this the statement, and I'm not even gonna press enter because I can see it's telling me it's true. So since this is true, that means that it does this. It runs this branch. So now I can I didn't copy it. Can I copy it? If I can manage to copy it, then I can run it like this. And let me drink some tea. If I take a look here, what's happening? Oh, I see FPV1. So that's interesting. That's what I want probably. Let me see without the JSON parse. I'm just see with the decode. Okay, that looks interesting. Let me copy that. Let me open a new buffer in Emacs. Let me see. Do I have FPV1 in here? Yes, I do. So this has what I'm looking for, and it also has FPV2, FPV3, FPV4, and 5. And if you remember, there was 5 V1, V2, V3. There was 5 like variables that get replaced with domains. Okay, this is very interesting. So this is what I want to figure out. How does O get created, and how does the decode function work? And so for now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do O.U. I'm going to run it. I'm going to get, this is like the input to this decode function, right? So we have this as the input to our decode function. It's a very long string, and I'll have to figure out where it comes from, which I will do later. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this a bit actor, yes. For now, what I'm going to do is this epic classical music coding, reversing. So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just figure out how decode works. And in this episode, since I want to keep it kind of short, I don't want to make very long streams, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna reverse the decode function. Because I know that decode from this, it becomes the JSON with the stuff that I want. So what I can do maybe is I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna create a new file. I will just call it index.js, and I'm working with JavaScript because I don't really have a choice for now because the web uses JS. So I'm just gonna keep it as simple as possible. And so we have the decode function, right? And if we run decode with O.U, what exactly is lobster.sh? Lobster.sh is it's a one shell script that allows you to watch movies and TV shows in like through your CLI in the terminal, and has stuff like history, image preview, Discord presence, other features. And I'm doing it all in POSIX shell, which is also like I'm trying to keep the dependencies as minimal as possible. So now there's a thing you can do now for reversing this. You can do I have the decode function, right? And I can call the toString method on it. And if I do this and I run it, I can get the actual function for it, right? And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just paste it here. I'm gonna change this to decode. function. We copy it, boom, boom, beautify it, boom, dchar. Let me drink some tea. And in the meantime, I'll rerun it. ABC is not defined. Let's check what ABC is. ABC is just an alphabet, so it's probably some base action going on. Where's ABC? It's referenced several times and it's using length and substring. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create a const a equals boom boom like this. And I called it A instead of ABC, but yes. Okay, boom. We rerun it, then no more T. Very sad, but it was very good T. So now it's saying index of cannot read properties of undefined, read index of and cannot read index of, probably because something is happening here in key str. So there's probably a problem here, which is why it cannot get the index of something in it. And this is where I get this dot key str, and this is for the salt d function. So it's probably salt key str because it's this, right? And this refers to salt. It's just OOP, JavaScript oriented, object oriented programming. And I already forgot what I copied, but so I guess what I can do is just, because I think it appears only here, I can just do a var key stir equals like this, yes, and then here instead of this I will just do it like this, right? That's the easiest way for me to do it. Salt UD is not defined. Salt dot underscore UD dot to string because it's a function. Just base chars, yeah, but they're not in the, like, the order is a bit like it's kind of like Caesar cipher. But anyways, when you reverse this stuff, you just use what they use and then you optimize it. So this is the salt, I will call it salt underscore UD. And then I need to find salt this and change it like this. And then boom, okay, it seems to work. It didn't give any errors. And then if I just console.log it, like this, hopefully it gives me what I want. And then boom. And then if I go here, I can probably look up FPV right here, and so we get our Neo Horizons workshops and the other ones. Very simple. And yeah, now we just grab and set the bitch. But the thing is, the next step is to figure out where this comes from, right? Because I don't know where this string comes from. But since I've been streaming for almost 1 hour and I'm a bit tired, and also I tried to keep it short, I'll probably do that in another episode. But this was just, I guess, an introduction. I just showed some stuff about how to reverse obfuscated JS. Yes, I started, 52 minutes. But I want to kind of keep it short. Because I was a bit slow-paced on the first part, and then I felt like maybe people might get bored, especially if I upload it to like YouTube. So yeah, we have this JavaScript back in my day. Yeah, I had the 24-hour stream for developing Lobster once. So I can stream for it's fine for me. It's more for people who watch. So this works, and there will be more JavaScript next time, because I'll probably need to find how this works. I will not spoil it. I mean, I know how it works, but I will not spoil it. I'll figure it out next time. And also, I'll have to rewrite all of this in I'll have to rewrite all of this in POSIX shell, which will also maybe be fun, maybe not. We'll see. First I'll probably optimize the JavaScript itself and then rewrite it. But yeah, that is probably it for today. And next time, object-oriented POSIX shell, yeah. I mean, Sodding had a video, right, about object-oriented C. So why not do it in POSIX shell as well? So next time I'll actually get everything working from the ground up. Also, the thing is, I'm just doing this for educational purposes. If, like, in reality, honestly, I could hard code these because they're very unlikely to change the 5 servers. They're very unlikely to change. And even if they do, it's just easier to reverse them really quickly in the browser and then change it in the script. But I'm just doing it properly just for the sake of it, just to show. Yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for coming and watching. I have so many viewers for some reason. I mean, I did tell people about this because I thought it was an interesting episode, but yes, not used to this. Yes, I will end the stream now. Thank you for coming. Until next time, and good night. Let me just find OBS. Bye bye. Thank you.